Have you ever had one of those days? A day so bad you thought, that's it, I'm done. We've all been there. But what if that single worst moment actually held the key to your greatest purpose? Well, today we're going to dive into the incredible story of Tony Robbins to see how one of the most painful days of his life became, believe it or not, the most powerful. So let's just jump right into it. This is a question Tony Robbins asks all the time, and his own life is maybe the most stunning answer you could find. It's a huge question, right? It challenges us to look at our hardships not as these massive brick walls, but as turning points. So let's really unpack how he did it.
To get the transformation, you first have to understand the starting point. Our childhoods, especially if they're filled with chaos and stress, they kind of install this default programming in us. It's a set of automatic reactions we have to everything. And for Robbins, that programming was forged in a really intense environment.
I mean, just try to imagine growing up with this level of instability, constant uncertainty, emotional chaos, and that real physical stress of not knowing if there was going to be food on the table. This was his normal. This was the world that shaped his first view of life and basically wired his brain for pure survival. But right in the middle of all that chaos, one single moment showed up that would change absolutely everything. And it wasn't some big, dramatic Hollywood scene. Nope, it was just a simple knock on the door that forced a decision that would define the rest of his life.
So let's picture this. It's Thanksgiving Day. The family has absolutely nothing. No money for a big meal, not even enough food for a small one. The air in the house is just thick with tension. His parents are screaming at each other. The feeling is just one of complete despair and failure.
And then, completely out of the blue, that knock happens. A tall man is standing at the door holding bags of groceries and a turkey. A total stranger, offering a full Thanksgiving dinner. Just an act of pure anonymous kindness.
But his father's reaction? It wasn't gratitude, it was pure anger. He saw the gift not as help, but as an insult, a blow to his pride, and he slammed the door. You see, that is that default programming in action. His mind chose a story that kept him comfortable in his own pain instead of accepting a reality that challenged his identity as a failure. Now this is the core lesson of this whole story. The exact same event happened to two people, but they experienced completely different realities. And this shows us something so profound. Our lives are not shaped by what happens to us, but by the meaning we decide to give it.
Years later, Robbins actually broke this down into 3 core decisions that we are all making all the time, usually without even thinking about it. First, what are you going to focus on? Second, what does that focus mean to you? And third, based on that meaning, what are you going to do about it?
Okay, let's break this down side by side because it's fascinating. His father focused on his own failure. To him, that meant I am worthless, so his action? Slam the door, reject the help. But Tony, just a kid, he focused on something else entirely. There's food. And the meaning he took from that? Strangers care. That one new belief shattered his old worldview and led to a decision that would shape his whole life. He decided he would pay that kindness forward.
So here's the really crucial part. He didn't just get over the pain of that day. No way. He learned how to take all that intense emotional pressure and transform it into clarity, into motivation, into this unstoppable momentum. The meaning he created, that became the fuel for his entire life's mission.
And he didn't wait, he started right away. At 17 years old, he took his lunch money and fed 2 families. The next year, it was 4, then 8. He took that new meaning, that new belief, and turned it into real, consistent action. And it just kept growing. It became a core part of who he was.
And that small decision born from one painful Thanksgiving has scaled into something, honestly, it's hard to even wrap your head around. It has grown into a mission to provide 1 billion meals through his foundation. Just think about that, 1 billion meals, all stemming from one choice to see a gift instead of an insult.
And this quote just brings it all full circle, doesn't it? His massive global mission isn't driven by some abstract corporate idea. It is deeply personal. It comes directly from his own experience of pain and a profound desire to end that same suffering for other people.
So why is this path, turning pain into purpose, so incredibly powerful? It's not just about success or achievement. Robbins' framework of the 6 human needs kind of gives us the blueprint. It explains why an act of giving can be so much more fulfilling than any amount of getting. See, we are all driven by these fundamental needs. Certainty, that's our need for safety, for comfort. But too much of that is boring, right? So we also crave uncertainty and variety. That's the spice of life.
We all need to feel important, unique. That's significance. And of course, we're wired for connection and love. These first four, they're the needs of the personality.
But here's the thing. Meeting just those first four needs can still leave us feeling like something's missing. The real secret to a deeply meaningful life, it lies in the last two: growth and contribution. These are what he calls the needs of the spirit. When we are constantly growing as people and when we're contributing to something bigger than ourselves, that's when we feel truly alive. The first four keep us comfortable, but these last two, that's what brings us real, lasting fulfillment.
And that brings us right back to you, and to that hidden question your future self is probably hoping you'll ask yourself today. We are all going to face pain, failure, and chaos. That's just part of life. The real question isn't if you'll have challenges, but what story you will choose to create from them. Will they be a story of defeat, or will they be the origin story of your greatest purpose? The choice, as we've just seen, is completely yours.